What role does culture play in creating a government that infringes our liberty, and what, if anything, can be done about it?
I think that culture plays a large role. People make decisions based on feelings and, in particular, fear. Fear is being used by our government to drive status policies and to put people into power. It's hard to counteract fear because it's a major motivator for people. One of the best ways that we can do it is to talk in the same language of emotion, tell them that libertarianism is safe and it's compassionate and it's the way for prosperity and peace. And if you can get people to believe that and believe that they do not have to live in fear and they do not need the state to protect them, then they will come to our team.
Mr. Coley.
Yes, I would absolutely have to agree that it's fear, and that's because I've studied history. I've spent quite a few years of my life studying the downfall of other pluralist societies that existed before our own. And what usually happens is there's some military threat that scares everyone to death. There's some overthrow, there's some occupation that scares the bejesus out of grandmothers. And what happens is we decide that we want to regress, not progress, regress back to old ideas and failed ways of doing things. Things that we cast off in the times of the common law and then cast off again in the time of the Declaration. We cannot embrace their views. We cannot allow them to use fear and anger to turn us against each other. We have to stand together. That's the only way a culture can survive, because every culture that's been overtaken by fear has followed the same exact path. And that's part of the reason why I'm running, is because I've seen in history how that happens and want to see it not happen here.
Mr. Weld. Oh, sorry, Mr. Sharp.
Larry's good? Oh, good. About a month ago, I was teaching a class to a bunch of entrepreneurs in the construction industry. And one of the guys said to me, he said, "Larry, I got a guy who made a $60,000 error, so I'm going to fire him." I said, "Why? You just spent $60,000 training him. Why would you do that?" Why? Because we have a culture of punishment and a culture of no second chance that exists in our business world and also in our culture, in our government. Someone made a mistake, fire him. Someone made a mistake, punish him. Prosecute him, prosecute him, prosecute him. That feels good because we feel righteous, but that creates no long-term value. It also creates a system where no one has a second chance. She broke a law, put her in jail. Criminal, no job for her. He broke a law, criminal, no job for him. No second chance, punishment. It's wrong, it's bad, it hurts us all.
1 minute for you, Mr. Weld.
Well, I had thought the question was, what role does culture play in what the future of our polity is going to be? And if that's the proposition, I think that culture has a huge defensive role to play against us falling into a very unattractive position. Sir Kenneth Clark, the author of the book Civilization, said if you want to know how elevated a civilization is, look in the book of its art. And you see freedom of expression, and you see the kind of commentary that the great artists of the day are able to make on the society of the day. And I think they've gone hand in hand with some of the greatest civilizations in history. A subset of that would be freedom of the press, which is certainly a culture in the United States, although under attack, and that is a major bulwark against governmental power and a contributor to pluralism, which I think are two cultural aspects promotive of the kind of political society I want to see.
That's time.
Thank you.
Ask a Libertarian Facebook fan page is spreading awareness of libertarianism and informing non-libertarians while empowering those who support liberty on a daily basis. This is your opportunity to be empowered, and let us advocate libertarianism for you at facebook.com/askalibertarian.